Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2, the ESL Open Cup Finals, a rematch of one of the most epic world championships in StarCraft 2 history. Let me introduce, in the top left, the Zerg player who knows how to do more with less and make it look unfair. It's the final boss. It's Dark. And his opponent, one of the most fan-favorite Terrans in the history of StarCraft 2, wears his heart on his sleeve, out right in front of his opponent with his Marines. Sometimes almost stubbornly committed to the micro, but not a pushover in the macro either. Shopify Rebellion South Korean Terran champion. It is Byun. Best of 5, ESL Open Cup, always facilitating some of the best players. Byun has always been a bit of a grinder as well. Kind of like Cure, the GSL champion, of course. Never gonna miss an opportunity to bring that up until it's less true. But he does play a lot of the even smaller Open Cups and stuff like that. Of course, Dark is also here, so it's not like this is a small-time tournament. This could easily and has been a World Finals, as I mentioned. I think both these players are still world-class. Dark probably a little closer to that top rung. Byun, honestly, lately, he came back. He went to military service in Korea. He came back. He's had success. He's had success doing almost exactly the same stuff he was doing before he left. Because remember, before he left, Byun, the only player that you can directly attribute a unit getting nerfed to. Other players you can maybe suspect or think, but Byun broke Reapers, alright? The reason Reapers are not nearly as good as they once were is because of Byun. It is his fault, not once, but twice. In fact, he won a world championship off Reapers against, guess who? We've been over it. Well, Reapers, since Byun got them nerfed into the ground several years ago, Byun has just decided against them. He's gone Command Center first, and he's gonna make Marines. Because if he's not gonna have his Reapers, he's gonna have Marines. But the downside of going Command Center first is you don't get Marines very quickly. So Dark's like, hey, wait a second. I guess. Okay, well. He's gonna make Marines with Stim. Now this is one of the most entertaining styles to watch, and one of the most frustrating as we watch Byun lose so many, like, build a Liberator or a Widowmine. I don't know, I'm not here to coach, okay? I don't have quite that much hubris. Very close, though. But many times we see Byun really try to fit the Marine-sized peg in any other hole, and that sounds uncomfortable, and watching it sometimes is as well. Like, ranged lurkers, not countered by Marines. But Byun will damn well try. Some games he transitions into the lake, and we're on Romanticide, which means, one, we'll probably have some time to talk about all this. It is the most macro-focused map. You got 3 relatively free bases for each side. And that means access to maxing out rather quickly with minimal risk. Speaking of risk, we have a burrow upgrade out of Dark. This has resurged a little in popularity, especially Dark himself using those burrow banelings. And also, the thing I like the most that people use is burrowed lings. It's like overlords, but underground. Kind of like, it's essentially observers for Zerg. So since it's Zerg and not Protoss, it's worse. But like, using lings burrowed near expansions and stuff like that, like, it seems so obvious. It seems like one of those things we should have been doing years ago. Are you going for a Hellbat push, Byun? I don't want to get started on Hellbat pushes, but Byun obviously does, as he followed up with Reactored Hellions and is building an armory. So it's going to be a handful of Hellbats alongside a contingent of Marines. And since Dark didn't go for any particularly quick lair, it's very unlikely to have Baneling. Oh no. But he does have Burrow. So it's just a bunch of Marines with one medevac that'll have 2 Hellions for Hellbats. Like, okay. I mean, there is no bailing speed. He's gonna have a couple Hellbats. The main weakness of this push is that the medevac is the only thing keeping it from getting run over. So if the medevac dies or can't really do it, that was fucking terrible. Like, what are we doing? What was that? Like, Byun's medevac just stopped, traumatized, and almost died, making it so no one came home. Just, like, alright, stop it. Stop with the Marine. I didn't want to say it at the start of this series, because then it sounds like I'm coaching Byun, who has, now this is true, several more world championships than I do. But sometimes Byun just decides he's doing his build. Well, now he's doing Cure's build. So, he is going essentially a Bio-Curious build, which is Armory into Drilling Claws double factory mine, but then into barracks and 1-1. So you kind of go a little mech, you dabble in mech, you decide, you know what, a little mech, okay. And then you settle down with bio. But a little mech in those mid-game years is, like, no one's gonna judge you for that, okay? Everyone's tried mech. Not everyone likes it. A small percentage. But, so Byun, let's see. Now he has a Widowmine drop with Drilling Claws. We'll see. So far, Byun has killed 5 Zerglings and an Overlord. We'll see if this Widowmine drop is able to get more done. I don't think the Overlord was really involved. In fact, the Zerglings, I think, were in the early part of the game as well. Yeah, okay, so the Widowmine drop coming in. Dark not ready. Oh, 5 kills so far. A couple hits on the Queens, scrambling to get Overseers anywhere. The Zerglings and Banelings are just kind of idle out on the map. Meanwhile, another mine. Dark dodges it. Very clever. But is he ready for the second drop? But wait, there's more. No base is safe. Another drone. Wait, did that drone dodge? No, it did not. He's got to get Spore Crawlers. The worker count is still 80. So the downside of this is beyond... Because this was the follow-up as opposed to the... Oh my god. Oh, sweet Jesus. Alright. Because this was the follow-up as opposed to the opener... Wow. The beautiful wall off here. He does have to cancel the command center, but between the depot wall and the command center setup, Byun is able to box out anything from getting into his third. And Byun now has gone from an awkward... Wait, did Dark cancel Burrow and restart? Did he misclick Burrow instead of a lair or something in his main originally? Was that... It was a weird timing to go Burrow, because he has a lair in his main. I think Dark may have just missed... How would you... I'm like, it's times like this I bring out my keyboard. I'm like, even if you're using grid keys, I don't know. But it does seem like the burrow did not complete. I kind of forgot about the burrow existing at all, and apparently Dark just now remembering. Byun moving to clear some creep, but because the first attack was thrown back, there was not that opportunity to really stop the creep before it really started. And that means Dark's speciality, he doesn't need 4 bases. He'll take it. He'll take it. Who won't take 4 bases? Come on. Like, with extra sugar. But 3 bases is enough. Dark has made it work. And now he has 4 bases with better or near even upgrades. He's got going on a 5th with 90 drones, a lurker den, hive tech on the way. Thank you. So this is Dark is sliding right into his comfort zone right now, and Byun is slipping out of it. Though, wow, that was a quick commit. Never mind. This is not, I'm just gonna go Marines and Medevacs Byun. We should have figured that out with the mine drops. This is, I want to win the game Byun. He's already got the Ghost Academy done. He's making a couple tanks at a time. I think either he's spotted that... Let's go to the Byun action cam for a moment. I accidentally pressed the button. We're going to stick with it. Oh, the pickups lets the Marauders take the brunt of the hit. Trying to clear as much creep as possible. Setting up with the drop. Oh my god, the max racks. Oh, that didn't go great. But back to the main. How many racks? 8. The Octo Racks play. 2 factories and a 3 factories and a reactored starport. Maximum production 82 SCVs versus 91 drones. We got a bit of a macro game on our hands. I mean, it's romanticide, so here we are. Who could have expected this? 4 ghosts and another Ghost Academy in production. Well, let's get that camera location hotkey set up, Jimmy. We got some very professional shot that isn't necessarily for nukes yet, but like, it's on the table. 3-3 starting across the board. Neither of these players really slowed down by any of the skirmishes thus far, as we're at 11.5 minutes and speeding past the late game line with max upgrades, extra 3 command centers maxed out for Dark. Byun not too far behind. It's slowed down marginally by 4 command centers being built. Alongside, he's skipping the part where you lose all your Marines and make good units. And he's just skipping right into the good units. Like, he has 40-50 supply of bio to throw around, so that way he can move his ghosts or tanks or what have you into position. Of course, Banelings closing the distance this quick is always a little dicey. Loses 1 medevac. Dark still has the ability to leverage his map control, and he has creep halfway across the map as a staging area. Without lurker range, the ghosts, I think, are going to be more than enough to push Dark back. But once lurker range completes, the ghosts have the exact same range as the lurker, which means they can interrupt the snipes technically. As well as, obviously, having enough lurkers means you can usually overwhelm the ghost. Well, speaking of the snipes, Dark kind of just flailed some Banelings into the rocks, which is definitely a mistake. Byun forced back with some of the ghosts, but between a rock and a hard place, Dark finds himself smashed. And suddenly, he's now lost 1,800 or so more minerals than Byun and 1 less gas. Overlords moving into position. I think 100 Zerglings were in the production tab, some of them completed. Just adding some more Nidus in the main. Where's my double Nidus? Byun responds with drops. The most mobile option. Meanwhile, how many? There's 100 Zerglings on the map. 3-3 is not quite done yet for either side. Planetary Fortress coming up defensively, splitting the ghosts back. Planetary breaking the waters of the Lings and Banes, but the Banelings rolling by. Not enough to stop the ghosts. And Byun holds the line for now. But Dark consumes. He's now got his entire half of the map. The creep is at the halfway mark. He's got 85 drones. The income tab, besides a few mule valleys, the mountains of Dark's income adding up. Another armory on the way, I'm pretty sure. Well, Byun just wants more upgrades. Enhanced shock waves. Come on, just give me the nuclear missile. It's not like you can't afford cloak, Byun. Burrowed. Oh, bonus lurker. Every Zergling burrow comes with a free bonus lurker. Oh, nice perk. What loot box can I buy that one in? Oh, the like and subscribe button? I'll try that right now. How crazy is that? Almost as crazy as Banelings crashing into the third. SCVs throwing every which way. The Marines back behind the tanks, but throughout all this, a Nidus network and 1 bonus lurker. Oh my god, Dark so generous. Is going to force the command center to lift. He's using the Nidus with the changeling to draw friendly fire, which is incredibly ineffective, except for emotionally, in which case it is amazing, and yeah, it didn't work, but like, the idea. Meanwhile, the Ghost will snipe the Lurker and get the Nidus, but Byun is still scrambling to hold on each front as the creep inexorably marches forward. He hasn't really had an opportunity to drive it back. He's held off his bases for now. Another bonus Lurker! I don't know. Dark is sending a Lurker and a Nidus in, like, all of these locations. It doesn't make any sense. Dark loves just jamming his Lurkers down right in the middle of things. And at some point, you gotta figure out a way to dislodge them. He has the money. He's mining 1,200 gas a minute. So is Byun. But that pretty easily... And a bonus Lurker! What are these Lurkers? Dark always leaves a Lurker behind as a calling card. Or he maybe, I don't know, forgets it. I'm not sure which one. He's losing a lot of Lurkers to that, though. It's starting to add up, really. He's lost 9 Lurkers now without a real fight. I mean, bonus Lurker and a Nidus. Ah, the today's special is 1 Nidus network and a Lurker. And 50% off changelings. Meanwhile, here comes everyone else. Just tanks and a planetary, which sounds like a lot, but the banelings laugh it off right in past the planetary. Eventually, the Zerglings will take it out. The Ghost trying to hold the line. A lot of them eating baneling splash damage and not really liking the taste. But they will walk it off for now. Enough medevac still intact. He's trying to burrow Bane, but they're... Oh my god, Dark. I don't know if he was trying to burrow them or if he knew the mines were there, but as the banelings died to the Ghost, they killed the mines, which is just some next level play. There goes a command center for some reason. The Hydra's also surprised to see it. 24 SCVs down. Suddenly Byun is down 60 supply. He's been scrambling for several minutes now. And at this point, I don't, like, it hasn't gone well for Byun. And it's not getting any better. As Dark has kind of just grabbed the entire map and has not let go. It's an intimidating amount of creep. Dark is comfortably mining from his entire... He has a 36... The Y-axis here is very important. He has a 3,600 resource income lead. Looks like Byun was able to grab another base and cut into that slightly. Mules are... Oh, he's not even dropping those. But here comes another round of banelings. Parasitic bomb. There's so many banelings. And I think at this point, while Dark did lose that... Yeah, that's how you know a game is over. Alright? Byun wins the fight and immediately taps out. Because he knows it's not getting any better. It's just going more and more downhill. Dark with the bludgeon. The economic hammer. And he takes game 1. It felt like Byun, unfortunately, against someone like Dark, you can't just do Marines, have it not work, and then say, I guess I'll try something else. No, you've kind of missed your chance at taking the initiative there. When your first ill-fated Marine attack dies to exactly what you probably should have expected. So, a very Byun game 1. We'll see if he can bring it back in game 2. But yeah, Dark's not going to let you get away with that one. Jimmy! What? To the game! So, game 2. Oxide. Uh-huh. What is that? Scouting? A CVB on? Is that what that is? Mm-hmm. Alright, I don't think so. He's just scouting the area for his multiple... Everyone, like, you want a lake house. Alright, some people want a lake house or a yacht. Some people just want a barracks with which to proxy. Is this Marine It is Marines. So... This is a macro proxy. Yes. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But 2 racks is... Think about it. In Wings of Liberty, people like Maru and Byun proxied 2 racks, and that was the all-in. Now in Legacy of the Void... Wait, whoa! Did Byun just, like, rotate his SCV out of this side of the Rex? Well, now he screwed this one up, but, like... He smoothly transitioned the SCV. Uh-oh. There's an Overlord, but honestly, time is of the essence. The Overlord is not the priority target. The priority target is getting a bunker down before the hatchery finishes. Let me finish my original point. In Legacy of the Void, you start with twice as many workers. So if they were proxying 2 racks and Wings of Liberty with 6 workers, and now you're proxying 2 racks with 12 to start, it's just not nearly as committed. This is to force a strong response and maybe kill some drones or force out so many Zerglings. The drone count is just too low to really deal with. And you see him right now. Dark doing a good job of juggling back and forth, but he did go for a pretty greedy hatch first with extra drones before his spawning pool, which, a bit gratuitous. Didn't really expect the 2 racks proxy, and it is only 2 racks, which means if Dark ends up losing too much, he'll find himself in a real tough spot economically. Byun with some impact. Oh my god. Alright, well, that Marine is not happy, but he has continued Marine production. The worker counts are even, and with the orbital, Byun actually might have a slight income lead momentarily. Thing is, the Marine count is continuing to grow as well. So it's not like Dark has now defended. He's out of the woods. Oh no. The Queens, he's just stepping past as the Spinecrawler reburrowed. Byun finds the timing. Snipes 6 drones. I don't know what that voice was, but like... Some lesser players would claim map hacks. But it was inevitable that the Spinecrawler would move, and Byun finds the perfect timing. So that was the damage. That brought this game from like tenuously even or maybe a little Dark favored. And now losing all of... Oh my god, and the Overlord. Oh god. Yeah, okay. Byun is definitely ahead now. That, certainly. Those Marines, their lives, not required to defend the base. In fact, they were not going to be useful for a while yet. Maybe once medevacs eventually come out. They're traded for a third of the Zerg economy. Oh, I can't tell you how painful that is as a Zerg. The one thing you're most limited on in the early game, especially in this kind of scenario, is larva. Especially because the Queens were using Transfuse, and in fact need to be pulled to defend the front, so he might not even have been injecting the main. Which means there wasn't just wasn't the larva to go around. If you lose a drone, you want to make another drone. So that's that extra larva you're not getting back. Fun fact, Zerg can't even cancel their larva, because the larva itself just dies. So if you made some Zerglings, it's not like canceling Marines out of the racks, but instead you've just deleted your own larva. How is this still happening? You guys! Terran! They're still here! No, those are other guys. It doesn't matter! How can they still... It's 5 minutes! Ah! God damn it! Well... Call Susan! Me? Oh. Wait, what happened in the main? Something happened in the main. Oh. The Marines drew all the Queens angrily to the third, and then Byun dropped Hellions into the main, and Dark just tapped out. So the Marines angered the Queens so much they were completely out of position, walking off of creep. Yes, I know we just used it, but put it back up. Put it back! Having a rough day out here today. Like and subscribe so we can hire new help, please. But Yeah, Dark winning the drawn-out macro brawl, Byun with a disgustingly well-executed proxy Rex. True to form. Glad to see everyone sticking with the script for this series. It's like watching a Marvel movie, okay? Like, you don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but you know how the characters are going to act when they face essentially the dark version of themselves in their specific movie. It's like, who's against Iron Man? Evil Steel Man. It's like, all right, well, Captain America versus, well, not America. Dark versus. Okay, this metaphor isn't really holding up. It was just an example of a predictable plot. In this case, Dark playing a macro game and Byun cheesing. So if you connect the dots here, you gotta stick with me on this. I know, it doesn't always make sense, but if you like and subscribe and watch enough videos with enough ads, I can make sense. Thank you, AdSense. And back to the game. Dark trustingly and boldly goes for another hatch first, with a couple drones into... Well, actually, it looks like he made the pull before extra drones this time. And Byun not gonna press his luck. We are gonna go into the more drawn-out macro match. And by that I mean Byun isn't putting barracks outside Dark's base. I kind of just go back to those default commentaries. And, yeah. Anything besides putting a barracks outside his base is going to be more drawn out. That was not really eliminating many possibilities. And I don't think that's the last time we're going to see that in this series. I'm surprised, like, Dark knows better. He knows better than that. It's just, people don't really do the 2 Rex Marine proxy. It's, because it's like this medium tier cheese, which is kind of Byun's specialty, but it's not really a thing. But of course, because of that, sometimes it can be a thing. What do we got here? A little bit of add-on roulette. Looks like it. The factory wins this time around. Byun knocking out the orbital at the natural. He's getting a starport before even thinking about a third CC. He's only making 1 Hellion. So I'm not sure if he's saving up for something, but Or it may have just been what we like to call in the business a mistake. He did want money for the rest of his build, but yeah. The Zergling scrambles away even before the speed upgrade. Once again, gonna go for the Hellion drop. He likes the Hellions, alright? I will say, this is what happened in game 1, though, was Byun sticking to his guns, or gun equivalents, it not panning out, and then playing some Minecraft. And I don't think it's gonna, like, a Hellion drop is gonna take Dark off guard. I think it's insanely unlikely, and that is why Byun subverts expectations by putting the Marines in the medevac, an original idea, and is gonna just run out with the Hellions. So, we'll have to see. This comes down to execution. Dark has actually expanded to the triangle base, the one outside the main. A little easier to threaten with drops, but also a harder place to do an outright push from Byun's natural. Alright, the Hellions find a creep tumor, trying to slip by into the natural. Plenty of Zerglings have not yet been revealed, by the way. I'm not sure if Byun dropped out any of the Marines and let them know that this isn't a mine drop. But the Zerglings in the main, yeah. Okay, roaches are popping out too. So the marine drop is like a mine drop, except usually worse, in my opinion. But it's that. Yeah. So here we are. A Liberator has already been spotted, I think, by an Overlord on the other side. Byun just gonna look for an angle to sneak it by. Dark tried to move into position to intercept, but didn't end up working out. He's now gonna move towards the main. There is a Queen. Queen, I don't think, has enough HP to deal with this at the moment. Is Dark gonna move back? We got Hellions moving into the third. The Queens are actually body by... No! No! Don't touch them! Ah! Well, this is doing a lot more damage than it ever deserved to. 11, 13 kills on those Hellions. The Queens thought that a strong word on the left side would be enough to block the Hellions from burning the drones alive. Nope. Didn't cut it. The Marines made it back home. Tank on the high ground. Double engineering bay. Ravagers involved, by the way. Like, the Tacta Ravagers. I haven't quite seen something like this. This is just enough Ravagers to try to break the wall. And he will break the wall. Byun doesn't have that much production here, but he does have a tank on the high ground. And even one tank on the high ground. Like, Byun's supply blocked. So this is one of the weirdest pushes. This is a Ravager pressure. Yeah, the Overlord trying to get high ground vision for the tank, but Byun already dealing with that. I think those Hellions really melted any semblance of a coherent plan here for Dark. Like, I think he wanted to flood with Zerglings after the Ravagers, but the Hellions getting in and killing 13 drones and then delaying the push until there was already a tank. That seems to have thrown things a little sideways. Roach is on the way. Byun, this is his bread and butter biscuit. Roaches are a known quantity. Roaches and Ravagers, even the Ravagers, are something you can really use Marine tank medevac against. And Dark is playing into Byun's Marine tank medevac. And while he does have 4 bases finishing up, while he does have a lot more workers, well, he had, and Byun's starting to catch up now. I think Byun is going to be perfectly happy to deal with this unit composition, as there's nothing to really stop the medevacs. There's Queens, of which Dark only has 5, which sounds like a lot, is not. Not enough to deal with this. And now Byun will have essentially map control with his medevacs, except for exactly where the main brunt of the roaches are. Yep, Byun just stimming in. A handful of Roach Ravager is not enough to stop 2 medevacs of Marines. He's stimming, and so far he's winning. 1-1 is finishing up. The Queen's moving to intercept. Byun, let's just go to the Byun action cam here.
Upgrade
I think
complete.
we're going to see plenty. Dropping into the main, spots the drones, sees where the Spore is, moving into position, adding on a few depots, drop at the front. Also, of course, continuing production. He's now got a nice amount of SCVs moving up. Back to the 4th. And there's no serious anti-air to deal with this. It looks like Dark is winding up for potentially game-ending push. Byun trying to figure out how to deal with this. Floating into the main with the factory. Moving his Marines into position. Dark will likely hit with his 1-1 finishing. He's maxed out, we can see. Can Byun defend? The medevac, picks up the tank preemptively. It's not going to be enough. Some more corrosive vials, but the damage is wasted, not on the Marines. Shotguns them out, tries to stop the Marines. Dark now going for the 3rd, but the medevac at the back, finding some drones, looking potentially for the hatchery. Some damage done, but Byun's already halfway through 2-2. Dark is essentially at an extended all-in here with this unit composition. Byun's got to be careful he doesn't actually lose his 3rd command center. Marines stimming forward, dodging left and right, and end up sliding back as he realizes tank support is a good skill to have. Unfortunately, that medevac taken down. That means Dark can concentrate all his efforts at the front. Beyond, another shotgun blast, looking for the orbital, but the SCVs have repaired it while it flies. Why can't they attack air units? That's a great question. But Beyond, finding an opportunity to minimize damage while taking out Ravagers, picks up into the medevacs right under Dark's nose, may immediately regret his decision, moves to intercept the left flank. Corrosive Bile repairs the command center. He'll lose 2 tanks, but still keeps the Marine count intact. Dark trying to pound the point home right now. Doesn't quite have enough Ravagers to break through, and the timer is ticking down on the upgrades. If the Marines have plus... I was going to say Marines and Marauders, but there are no Marauders. If the Marines have 2-2 done, and the medevac count is still intact, those are going to be nearly impossible to stop without a Corrosive Bile, and good luck landing that. Dark does have his 2-2 on the way. We're gonna switch over to the side of Darkness. A little confusing because for some reason we have the same color setup, but the Zerg units are the ones we're looking at now, and there's just not as much vision as you need to deal with the drops. And there is no anti-air is the prevailing issue. The attack at the back. Dark is maxed out, but allocating his forces well enough is the real issue. The stim into the natural. Dark scrambling. Roach Warren exposed. Tank. The drones are on the run. Beyond stimming and just gunning down 24 drones and counting. And by that I mean slightly less. But what is he gonna do? He's looking to... Oh my god! They actually killed a medevac! That wasn't in the script. So, Dark is at 183 supply, despite having only 50. He has 146 army supply, and he's finishing 2-2. So he's got a big-ass hammer. Put a hyphen wherever you want. Oh, select all army hotkey, though, to deal with this. Divide and conquer. Beyond understands how to win against an army of greater size. His mobility is unmatched. And just in small groups, his units are significantly more efficient. So beyond just delaying the attack as long as possible, at some point Dark's got to pull the trigger. Eventually Beyond will have either 3-3 upgrades, a 4th base, or some combination of the two. So here comes Dark looking to smash in the front door. It's Dark, open up! The tanks saved at the last second, but there's not enough Marines. There's not enough Marines. The vials across the board. The tanks exposed. Beyond in one of the most unnecessary potential base trades. Well, he's still got some tanks on the higher ground. Dark is on a limited time only policy, as with drops on both sides, his economy is shattered. He can't find anything to actually do. He's trying to make roaches. He lost his roach warren. He's trying to mine from his 4th. There are already Marines there. The overlords are refugees. And speaking of G's, I think we're about to see 2. You know what? I'm looking at the supply. It's kind of a weird experience. This really shows you how Roach Ravager feels. Like, it's such a misleading composition. He's got 98 army supply. He's up by 30 supply here. But it looks impossible for Dark to do any damage or even catch up with what Beyond's doing. We can see from the everyone perspective, like, Beyond is down that 30 supply, but once again, incredibly misleading, especially as he finishes +3, adds in Marauders and tanks and all these things, armored units, haunt their dreams at night. Beyond, I thought he walled off his siege tank, and I would have felt a lot of solidarity there. Dark is going for the Hail Mary. He's, literally going to try to pop up from underneath Beyond and win the game. He's going to have one shot. He's going to have one opportunity. The thing is, when Burrow Move is finished researching, the roaches look different and Beyond will know. So there will be a window between Burrow Move finishing and Beyond seeing a roach. That is the window for him to do damage. Because as soon as Beyond sees a roach, he's going to be putting up turrets, he's going to be scanning, he's going to know. So there's a very small opportunity here for Dark to just essentially sneak up on Byun. He's got 12 seconds until his roaches will give the whole strategy away. He could, of course, burrow the roaches and move them. And there are so many Ravagers, it's kind of hard to tell the difference. Yep, they're completed. Let's go to the Byun cam. Does he spot? He sees it. He sees it. He saw the roach. He has a turret already at the... Wow. He sieges up the tanks near his turret. He's adding... Yeah, he knows. There you go. He already suspected, but now he knows. All it takes is one. Oh, no. Oh, my God. And they ascended to the heavens. Blown out of the ground into the sky as we do here under the violent seas of 2,000 atmospheres. A lot of roaches just can't handle the pressure. Hive tech is on the way and far too late. Good fungal. But there's almost enough medevacs to just heal through it. Roaches are just barely out of turret vision. Oh, wow. Well, he's pre-scanning. Does he... Oh, he messed it. I don't know if he saw it. I don't know if it was in the scan. But Dark still leaving himself as many options as he can. But, like, despite being ahead between 30 and 50 supply for quite a while, Dark has been losing this game. Oh my God, the sheer amount of damage coming out from that. Oh my... The infestors. They're everywhere. Dark is definitely using the Selectal Army hotkey, but... one fungal won't make the... One fungal's not nearly enough. There's just way too much army here. The upgrades are 3-3 against 2-2. Byun literally just has to be sieged up, not all in exactly the same spot. As long as he doesn't get caught unsieged with multiple fungals, like a single medevac is taking out the fourth. Will Dark transfuse in time? The Marines are just DPSing through it. The Queens are running through all their energy while Dark does anything else. Loses the hatchery. Byun understands the value of patience and will leapfrog his tanks. He actually scans underneath the tanks, which left his weak point directly in front of him, where the army just came in. I think he was suspecting roaches or something underneath. The fungal, that one whips the mark. The medevacs are running out of energy. Is there enough Ravager and Roach? Maybe. Until another 20 supply of Byun comes across the map. Well, the fungals... Dark is a specialist in low economy Zerg. Like, that is his special power, is making 3 bases stretch a lot further than they ever should. He just understands what's going to make the difference. Oh my, beautiful fungals across the board. A lot of damage done. Dark getting everything he can, and then somehow a little bit more. He's trying to wait till 3-3. That's what's on the clock here. Byun has not lifted his main, but he's mined out of his main natural and most of his third. So the incomes are actually kind of even. Beautiful fungals again. Oh, he got 2 medevacs. What a nice bonus. And Dark refuses to die. The tanks are just a few sieges away from cutting off 2 and 2 bases. If he does make it there, then Byun is essentially in a checkmate position. I was ready to call the GGs, but Byun is not able to close this out quite yet. +3 missile attacks is done with +3 carapace closing in. Now we're on even footing, which still is overall good for the Terran, but not nearly as good as being ahead. Like, Byun is not pulling, like, he's now... Oh my. Wait, what? Was there even a roach? Oh, he's sending in burrow move roaches just to try to draw out the attacks. Oh my God. Red Rover sent roaches right over. You can't call them that, Jimmy. But that's what they're called. The roach, well, even if one of them out of like 5 makes it, the scans are worth it. It's working. Like, what do you do? Like, I guess you just unburrow it, right? Like, what does he do? Oh.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Dark, don't do it. Ah! He unsieged all the tanks, but wait, then Dark pulls the trigger of the attack. The overlapping Venn diagram of Biles. Somehow, Dark able and a fungal from the back. He lands the second. There's a drop in the main. The queens are holding. Dark from below. I don't know how Byun let this slip, but it kind of feels like Byun let Dark style on him here. Dark with the bludgeon once again, even upgrades. Byun lost so many tanks. He lost medevacs to corrosive bile. That's kind of unacceptable. Like, and suddenly Dark is right back in it. This feels like a 40 supply lead that actually matters. Before, when Byun had all the economy and he had all the production, sure, okay, 40 supply of Roach Ravager, that's nothing. But when this has been happening for this long and the upgrades are even, and this is essentially Byun's only mineral income, Dark has suddenly turned this around. Not so suddenly. It's been a long and drawn-out process. Not sudden at all. It's been a grind of over 8-10 minutes. Thing is, though, Marine Marauder on the open field, still unmatched. He's trying to land there. He essentially has to make it so difficult for the Marine Marauder to chase that he can either trade well or force Byun to retreat. Like, it's so hard to do. You make a few missed corrosive biles, or you're a little late on the draw. Yeah, he's literally carpet bombing an area that he doesn't want bio to go. Because it's not to kill the bio, it's to force them to reduce their DPS enough that you can actually win the fight. So what a game this has become. And I think I can confidently say Byun had a leading position, but he just couldn't find a way to knock Dark out. He thrives on these sort of games. He does it better than... I would put Dark in this position over Cyril, or Raynor, or Rogue, or whoever. Maybe not Bly. Bly is another Zerg like this. A scrappy underworld Zerg. But Dark just... There's still a tank here, by the way. So eventually, we'll get back to him. He's one of the bit parts of this story, but... Dark is back to 60 drones. He's getting Lurker Burrow Move, as well as drilling, well, essentially digging claws here. So, now, some of the Korean casters obviously can't understand why this game is still happening and Byun hasn't won yet. Oh my god, he's burrow microing roaches against a Marauder drop, so that's happening. Byun has floated his main to the middle of the map to the rich Vespine base, which matters not at all. The thing is, though, there's only 4 min... Wait, is it 4? Did he mine out the others, or are there only 4? Oh my god, I never noticed that. Only 4 mineral patches, because 95% of the time this base matters for the gas. But Byun playing bio... exclusively here, doesn't need gas. He's desperate for minerals, even if it means only half as many. Oh, the tank line now extends pretty thinly, but over a key position of the map. Mules are... The incomes are almost dead even. What a game. What a game. I will say, I think Dark... This all started with Dark kind of coming off with one of those terms that I feel like you shouldn't say nowadays because nobody can take it seriously. But Dark kind of came off half-cocked on that Roach all-in, which you don't want to half that, I would say. And that left Byun in a position to just grab map control and work it all over the map. He killed the fourth base how many times? 3, 4? Dark just did not have the composition in order to compete with Byun. But Byun didn't really press the issue. Not all the way into the base, at least. And eventually Dark, with some clever and exciting And solid clickbait tactics, I will say. Thank you, Dark. Like and subscribe. With those underhanded burrow tactics, managed to drag himself back into it. What would be the solution for Byun? What would I have said would be the solution? Let's wait on that, because right now Dark is defending. He's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bases. Of course, only 3 or 4 have minerals. Circling back. Liberators to split the corrosive biles and to be able to press the issue. But with no liberators on the field, just tanks and, well, now a few ghosts. They land an EMP. This is a terrible concave for Dark. He's going to have to back off. Especially with the ghosts hitting the field and the snipe on the table. This is not a winning fight for Lurkers or Ravagers anymore. On the other side, yeah, that's a better one. Just Marauders and Marines with a couple Spine Crawlers to back them up. Somehow this map is being cut in half. We're dividing up the entire damn thing. And it looks like almost directly vertical lines. Usually you see a little bit more of a diagonal slice along the symmetry of the map. But Byun will be taking the east and Dark has the west. Ghost Cloak finishing. Ghosts are just... There's nothing here they're bad against. And there's some things they're particularly great. Of course, you can snipe any Zerg unit, as it is biological. And there are no bad targets. There are no real Lings and Banes. So, it looks like Dark adding a few in, probably expressly to deal with the ghosts. But even if you don't hit a Lurker, hitting a Roach or a Ravager with Snipe, especially if the Ghost lives, that's a win. EMP for Infestors, and for Vipers especially. The Ghost... says Dark. And he gets like 3 tanks, which is not as dramatic as we thought it might be. But mostly getting rid of those roaches at this point. More burrow-based units in the... He's managed to carve out enough space on the map with roaches that he's made it to the composition you're more typically wanting to see, which is Lurkers, Lings. I don't think he has a Baneling nest, so that feels a little off. It just kind of got left out of this whole deal so far. But Lurkers, Lings, he's got +3 melee, and yeah, we're going into the supreme late game. Dark has lost 4,000 more gas. He's mined 5,000 more. We'll see if this becomes relevant, as both of them are spending all of their gas. Lurker range on the way, Overlord speed. It's drawn back close to even. Whoop! And a bonus Lurker! The turret... The TPM is raising, if only for early detection of those potential suicide roaches. The creep is nearly directly halfway. Says Byun. And then the ghosts come in and snipe literally everything! Oh my god! Run! The Overseer was taken out. The Lings and Lurkers looking to get vengeance. We'll see if they manage it without the Overseers yanking in the ghost. Gets a few. He's gonna need like 17 more Overseers at this rate. Oh, that one's very dead. Yeah, you got it. Making sure it goes down. A Baneling nest just finished up. Dark just dunking the Lurkers down. He's done with the subtle roach tactics and in with the burying his face in the sand where it can get shot from almost every single angle by a massive amount of tanks, marines, and marauders. So that was a bit of a mistake. The idea was there, and Dark is very big on those forward Lurker tactics, but that was a costly loss. Where are the Vipers? Have no energy. Maybe one Blinding Cloud? The Roaches and Ravagers moving forward, though, clearing a path. Just shoving and stiff-arming tanks and marines aside. I think at the end of the day, we gotta go back to the oldest caster question. At what cost. Dark has lost 5. Wait. Uh, 6,000 more gas. Now, a few ghosts will do a lot to change. He has to run away from his own biles. Oh my god, you can hear the snipes going off. Each one landing on at least 100 gas at this point. Vipers, Ravagers, Lurkers. The Overseers aren't as costly on gas, but they're still a pain. So Byun is still maintaining an advantage even through to this point. And there's only so many minerals on the map. It's a very large number, but it's getting concerningly small at this stage. There are the typical 3rd or 4th bases, which are some of the most awkward ones to have left, as they are usually easily taken and mined out by this point. But the game has been so dramatic and meandering around that somehow that is going to be the last set of bases that are contested. Baneling speed, about 26 minutes slower than we're used to seeing it. But Dark agrees, better late than never. The ghosts and tanks holding a pretty disgusting position. Dark has lost the war of attrition. Even though he hasn't lost the war itself, the war of attrition, he's at over 1 base of gas. So each base, by default, has 2250 in each gas geyser. That's the number. Don't worry about how we came to that number. So that means 4,500 per base. The rich Vespine geyser is actually half that. It's only the 2250. It's just you mine it twice as fast. So, right now, Dark, he has mined 23k gas. He's got maybe 8,000 left on the map, assuming he keeps the bases he currently has. Especially these outlying ones. That is so many lurkers. Oh my god. Are you insane? You're crazy. He loves lurkers. You know, I think Byun just saw what was happening there. He scanned the lurkers. He's like, you know what? There's really only one option here. And that option is the nuclear option. And I mean, you gotta agree, at some point, it's too many lurkers. He starts a nuclear missile. One bonus lurker. He just leaves one. I'm not... It really is Dark's calling card at this point. It's just leaving a lurker behind. They'll expect one of us in the wreckage, brother. A nuke? Where did my camera location go? Oh, no. Well... Oh. Those some unlucky drones. And then the ghost, upon forcing everything else, will snipe it out. So ghosts can technically out-micro the lurkers, technically, but they have the same range as the lurker attack. So the lurker attack can interrupt the ghost snipe, which returns the energy, but I mean, eventually you can kill the ghost as well, which also interrupts the ghost snipe. We're just cutting it in half now. Dark is going to try to drag out the rest of the gas and then I think find the best possible position. Somehow, I don't know how we got here, but here we are. Byun willing to adapt. Oh, wow. Is he willing to adapt enough? Here we go again. A massive attack into the 3rd. Well, usually the 3rd. More like the 10th at this point. The SCV shredded, but the Ghost strikes back. EMPs Across the board, one fungal lands, and he yanks the ghost in to get eviscerated. But they slip out once again. A terrifying turn of events for the Zerg. But Dark is not yet done. He wants to spread himself all over the front of the base. A little bit of revenge for what Byun did to him earlier. But Byun was able to retreat to the low ground. And with all but the lurkers left over, suddenly the army thins out. The ghosts, a little bit of a offset there, but overall the firing squad strikes back. The overlapping volleys of snipe suddenly clearing up the entire game. And Byun exterminates Dark. After a dramatic push, Dark biting off way more than he could chew. Ugh. Well, match point. All right. What a mess. What a game, but also Dark so close yet so far the entire match. I will say, at risk of hitting another cliche, Dark is the only player who would have made that game past 20 minutes. Maybe Sarah Lorrainer on a great day. But, well, let's see if Byun has to struggle quite as hard going into game. What? Anyways, time for a quick advertising break. Thank you for watching. I'll be right back. Hey everybody, I'm Winter, and I'm here to tell you all about how you can get more amazing content like this one. Did you used to play Starcraft 2, like, at some point before you had, like, responsibilities or even worse, children? And now you enjoy thinking about how at some point you may like to play Starcraft 2 again, but instead fill that void, or at least the legacy of one, by watching your favorite commentators and also me on YouTube and pretending like you still could maybe be somewhat good and compete instead of having carpal tunnel and an emotional breakdown when you realize your own ineptitude? Well, have I got the channel for you? And you're on it, so make sure to subscribe and also check out those great, you see those beautiful thumbnails? No, look away from the Hearthstone. Stop it. No, those ones. Yes, WinterStarcraft. Those are the ones we're clicking on. Because that, but not right now, not now. After the video, remember this for after. Thank you. You're great. Keep it up. Thank you guys for sticking around. I know ads are loud, annoying. Jimmy, like, they've really been on about it lately. But, speaking of, some players just won't quit. And we have them in Game 4. Dark in the bottom right of my shade. And Byun in the top left. Byun with another late game performance. Oh no. Well, I predicted the proxy racks would not be the first ones we saw in this series. And, well, okay, that was the dumbest thing I've ever said. I mean, they wouldn't be the last ones we've seen in the series. And that's definitely not the dumbest thing, but, like, recently, in the last, like, 3 minutes. Anyways, I'd be surprised if this game lasts too much past 3 minutes. Because Byun has decided to put 2 racks in the middle of the map, and unfortunately for him, Dark didn't even get clever with his Overlord. He just sent it straight across. And he was expecting to see the barracks so little, he didn't actually pull it back. when you send the overlords to the sides to look for proxy racks, like 90% of the time, the Zerg's staring at it. So that way they can pull it back because air units have slightly more vision. Jimmy! No time warps. No, he was not Byun was trying to go for the biggest brain, like, Sir Wrinklebrain play here by just saying he'll never expect the barracks directly in the center of everything. But unfortunately, Dark, well, here we are. Shed some light on the situation. And if he's not... Okay, more drones are coming. He gets one, so that was some pretty beautiful micro, by the way. The barracks is currently at 46 out of 46, which,
the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster
so,
for you.
like... And will be canceled. Incomplete. Because that's just the Doubt Castle, aka the BARRACKS. Apparently not going to finish. A drone, a predator drone, murdered a Marine at the natural of Byun. So this is a bit of a marked turnaround from the general vibe of the previous match, as murderous, bloodthirsty drones are running unchecked throughout the map. Will be checked now. There will be some checking as a Reaper comes out and kills it, but returning some semblance of sanity to this universe. So now, Roach all in. It's not even really that all in. Said every person justifying their stupid cheeses. No. But Dark has 2 bases to 1. All he has to do is keep Byun busy and not sacrifice too much of his economy. And if he can keep him off the low ground for just a minute or two, that is going to put Dark further and further ahead. So, well, Byun lost the Reaper. What did he see? It's kind of suspicious to have a Queen and 6 Lings blocking the Reaper. But that is not a tell in and of itself. Oh, so Byun is making 3 command centers, which is approximately 2 more command centers than he'll want, in order to be able to appropriately defend against someone who's making roaches. It looks like the Overlord, well, a Banshee. Okay, don't you make a Raven. Don't you do it. He doesn't have... Okay, he makes a Banshee, like a sane human being. If he made a Raven, the game would just end as soon as these roaches showed up. There is no chance of holding it. It's still going to be a real pain. There's been no vision. There's no bunker. The Banshee's not done. Most of the SCVs, if not all, will die at the natural. This is the most obvious follow-up for Dark, but also, Byun was just gambling. It wasn't what was happening. Oh, well, the SCVs will be covered by the lives of these Hellions. He's trying to finish the Banshee. Marines abusing their little bit of extra range over the bunker, but... Yeah, well, Banshee comes out. There's not much for Dark to do, but just bust his way inside. Now it's a matter of how much damage does get done. And we'll never count out a 3cc Terran. But, in case you weren't paying close attention to the production tab, let me fill you in. Dark is at 50 drones. He's now killing, enough SCVs. And he has over 50 drones back at home. So for those of you who are like, Winter, I don't know how to get 50 drones or 50 workers by 8 minutes. Well, Dark sent a third of his drones on a bloodthirsty rampage. He followed up with a 2-base roach all-in, and he got 50 drones by 5.5 minutes. So try using your keyboard, my friend. Wow, I'm really just throwing shots out everywhere on this cast, but, well, we're going into yet another of these unpredictable games. Will it be 5 minutes or will it be 50? Because rarely is it far in between. Here we go again. Blackburn, which immediately, I think... No, don't, no, God, don't do it. Come on. Where are you going? Come back here. Like, I was gonna say Blackburn is your, like, favored Terran in the mid game because of the easy tank position. You know what? Why? Will it work? I guess is the question. I'm glad I could bring that question up, being a professional, quote-unquote, caster. I don't know. He's not going to scout it. This time, Dark, well, this is a map the Overlord doesn't just scout the most obvious proxy Rex, besides maybe right outside the main. So, he's not going to scout it, at least until it's already too late. But it is just a 2 Rex. So once again, this is the macro proxy. Macaroni and cheese, really, because you can follow it up with a factory and or another command center, depending on the exact timing, and it really comes down to a matter of degrees. Like, is it too much damage against Dark? Does he lose too many drones? Or does Byun get nothing done and lose all his Marines and all map control? And that's how you end up getting Roach all in with the drones, with a strong and direct response. They will chase down, like, the bunker doesn't matter much if there are no Marines to put in it. He will find the surround. I think he's mineral walking to that northern base. Gets 3. Gonna finish off another SCV, leaving just the one who does finish the bunker, but there is a spine crawler finishing. So, everything coming together for Dark. That bunker is irrelevant and will be salvaged with the 25 mineral restocking fee. 2 Marines, not as substantial as the 5 or 6 that ruined Dark in Game 2. It looks like Byun is gonna... He's thinking about the same thing again, like trying to slip the Marines by at the perfect time. But I'm pretty sure Dark not gonna fall for that one again. You might be like, well, that was the time. No, 5 Marines aren't gonna get by the Queenslandlings. There's just not enough here. Dark dealt with it strongly. And guess what? It's time for a Roach Warren. As the barracks fly home. But, is it a fake? What do I mean? He only has 1 gas. So this isn't necessarily an all-in. He doesn't have speed. That's a second gas. Still, not a huge commitment at this time. Like, he definitely could be more all-in. We'll see. I don't think he can expect to do game-ending damage. Especially since Byun can fly back 2 Rex and build Marines off them by the time the Roaches can get home. There will also be a Banshee. Better be a Banshee immediately. He's just gonna build 6 Roach. Here we go again. If it ain't broke. The thing is, this is... There will be a Banshee. And there will be Marines. And the expansion is done. On the low ground. Byun is in a significantly better position to hold this without critical losses. At the same time, he doesn't have nearly as much economy or infrastructure. Well, economy is more accurate behind it. Unless Byun just decides to walk out with 5 of his Marines and leave literally only the Banshee. Because, well... There they go. They will come back now. The Banshee comes out, and I don't know if he's going to get through the depot with much time to spare. He fires a shot into the depot, and Byun even pulls SCVs to try to slow this down. If the Marines were here, this would have already been stopped. But the Marines took their sweet, sweet time coming home because Byun was doing another one of his fancy tactics of trying to counterattack with almost nothing. But overall, 5 SCVs, and he lost 6 roaches and a Ravager. So this, no, that isn't it. That was not the game-winning damage that Dark... I don't think Dark was expecting to do game-ending damage, but it almost feels... he really committed to it, too, with no third. He may have felt more behind than he was. It is awkward to play after the 2 racks if you took any economic damage, and he did lose some drones. He's got a lair on the way, and I think we're at severe risk of Mutas, which is exciting, or, in a very dark manner, a Nidus. But there's a pretty high chance of Mutalisks, and I'm pretty excited. Oh, and the double Evo chamber with roach speed. So never, like, you're gonna go 4 gas and double Evo. Dark, I'm not sure Dark knows exactly where he's going with this right now, as he has to cancel his third. He's stuck on 2 bases. He is the low economy Zerg. Jimmy, can we bring it back up? Yeah. But, well, he's a bit of a roach whisperer. He's not rogue, but he has like a different way of using them. It's not so much just swinging the hammer super hard. It's slipping and sliding away from those game-ending attacks and living to tell about it. And then bring your units together and maybe actually win in the end. Byun has a 3rd command center. You're not. Oh no! How could you? We knew each other. I thought I knew you. I never knew who you truly were. And then their story ended because anything else was happening. It's gonna be Roach Ravager. And these 2 Banshees are incredibly annoying, but not deadly. A double medevac drop. The Banshees force Dark to kind of stay in his base. He's gonna be stuck, unable to commit to anything to a huge attack, as well as having an awkwardly low economy. But maybe finish your sentence instead of just leaving it hanging there out of context. But upgrades. I completely lost my train of thought. It's been a lot. This has been a long series, a lot of twists and turns. I'm getting old, and so are these players, and that's why they may have forgotten their upgrades like Byun. His engineering base, quite late, even in comparison to the relatively late evolution chamber. Upgrades finishing just before the 9-minute mark is definitely on the later side, even with the low economy start. And Byun, I don't think he has an armory. No, he's going to be behind the Roach Ravager upgrades, which does open up opportunities for that bludgeon. That brick thrown through the window that Roach Ravager can be. There's also a hive on the way. The rich gold base with the golden mineral patches, which is obviously better. Though it has the same... Now, if this becomes relevant, it would have been relevant on 2,000 atmospheres. They have the same total amount of minerals as an 8 mineral patch blue base. It just takes less drones to mine it. So, at the end of the day, when everything's mined out, a gold base is no better than a standard base. But, of course, that is a long way off. 2-2 on the way for Dark. He hasn't been under so much pressure that once he got that engine rolling, the macro slipped. He's at 74 drones, which is not an overwhelming, but a completely comfortable number. He's got 2-2 quicker. I don't know if he's had the opportunity to notice Byun's upgrades lately, but Byun just now finishing 1-1, and his armory's a little later. Wow, the Banshee's just... Oh. Could you, like, wait a little longer to decloak? These pro players and their timings on decloak and, like, just general micro. This is why Cure is so successful, okay? Because he's not trying to min-max his units. He's just trying to max his army. And at the end of the day, microing your macro is usually more reliable than making sure your Marines never take damage on 16 different angles simultaneously. But Byun's going to be working it. And against Roach Ravager, it really is a great option. Unfortunately, you look away for a second and suddenly fungal growth. They did not bring the special ointment. We are off the rails here. And so these, just like these queens, are off the creep, chasing down Medivacs on the other side of the mineral wall. 2-2 finishing for Dark. Did he finish a hive at some point? He does have a hive. He can start 3-3 immediately with Hydras, Lurkers, Lings. Byun still just started on his 2-2, and it's gonna come down to the later game unit exchanges. And the problem for Byun is when he wins the fights, it's because of the superior tech and/or upgrades. Either he has just so much tank, marine, medevac that he's able to overwhelm the Zerg army, or he has things like ghosts to gun him down with ridiculous efficiency. He has neither of those things. Right now, Byun is almost even on army supply. But he's down 2 upgrade. How many tanks is that? 10 tanks. Dark is a bit of a mixed bag. He's got 9 Ravagers, 6 Lurkers, 17 Roaches, and then a smattering of Zerglings. Always important to draw tank fire and just generally keep the main brunt of the damage off more valuable units. Melee upgrades. He's added a 3rd evolution chamber. The Banshee barely lives. The Marine will pass the smell test here, weirdly enough. The Zerglings will not, with the Banshee on patrol. Yeah, Dark's gonna go for the break. Will he go now, or will he wait for upgrades? Well, not gonna wait for Byun's upgrades. Or is he? Handful of Vipers. There are no ghosts. There is no EMP. There's nothing to easily deal with the Vipers. They will get their spells off here. Abducting into the Lurker line. Looking for more. And there's nothing really contesting. The Marines can't get close enough. The ranged Lurkers are zoning him out. Byun. The tank line getting thinner by the second. He has a couple more abducts here if he wants them. Dark ready to go. One Viking comes out to contest. But the tanks are being whittled down. Roaches and Ravagers trade significantly less efficiently, but Ghost Academy and Liberators on the way for Byun, but I fear he's lost momentum. He doesn't have the tech, and he's pinned up against his own command center. He's running out of time to make a move, and Dark is closing in on upgrades. Right now, it's even. And Byun's nearly maxed. It's not going to get much better than this to try to pick a fight. The Fungals are potentially devastating. He splits off, actually micros past the Infestors, targeting the Lurkers. Volley across the board, doesn't find the kills. Byun strikes, and like a Viper against the Vipers, clears the field. Byun found the timing. Dark, looking the other way, or just not ready for the speed Byun moved in. And Byun finds his 4th base defended for now. Baneling Nest, again, fashionably late. Not as late as 2,000 atmospheres, but still, definitely a missing piece of the puzzle. Well, a couple Liberators are going to help. Parasitic Bomb, a lot of potential splash damage in the air. Byun finally microing back the Viking. Gonna need to repair the Medivacs, and the Liberators hold the line. Dark now wielding his economy as the bludgeon again. And the question will be, can Byun survive the onslaught? He's holding strongly. His supply is still very high. A lot of the time, You'll see Terran players holding, but they'll just have less and less on each fight. That's not quite the case yet, though we're still one fight away from it being true. Especially as the main base mines out, the natural's drying up, the third is looking a little spotty. Roaches and Ravagers trying to slip behind, not going to have a great time of it. That's only lurkers. You can't only do lurkers. That doesn't, well, I mean, well, let's see. The tanks on the high ground. Factory tries to lift, didn't do enough push-ups. The lurkers are forced back. Dark and a bonus lurker. The theme of this series. But not finding enough. How many command centers are out there now? There's 6 orbitals. He's building 2 more. Byun is... all he needs are places to mine. The lurkers being chased down by the nearly inexhaustible scans. Dark has dozens of Zerglings and is adding on some Banelings with speed and +2 melee finishing up soon. The tanks at the front, no Marines, Ghosts, and Marauders to buffer. Here comes another fight. Snipes coming out across the board, but abducts. Just rapid firing on both sides. Spellcasters trading blows. And more importantly, the lurkers and the tanks exchanging fire. Looks like so far Byun getting the better end of the story here. And Dark yet again forced to retreat. And I ask, how many times can he afford those tricks? He's lost over twice as much gas, which doesn't amount to that much more in this case. We're looking at just over 4.4K. Nearing 1 full base of gas lost over Byun. So now is the crossroads. Do you continue trying to fight this war of just overwhelming economy? Or do you settle in? And essentially settling in means taking 1 more base. There are 2 they're not island bases, but these center bases are incredibly hard to hold on to because they're directly in the center of everything. They've got great siege positions from either side, and they're incredibly obvious when they are taken. Dark is opening up the way to decide the match on that. There's not the ambiguity of which bases will be contested. This isn't most other maps. The maps that we split in half, we fold in half down the center like this. You know which bases it's gonna be. Alright, directly down the center, Dark has 1 and working on 2. Meanwhile, the rest of the upgrades are getting filled in. And by that I mean everyone's favorite high-sec auto-tracking and Neosteel armor. The Ghosts, a few abducted, EMP's helping out. Ghosts will die, but so will the lurkers. Wow, that's a very forward place to put those lurkers. So now, Dark is holding at his efficiency. Oh, wow. Okay, well, this will decide a lot of it. He just ramps his way forward. The Ghosts firing over the top of the spores into the lurkers. The lurkers not able to trade enough blows to interrupt them. And just like that, I keep checking it. He's now lost 4,500 more gas. That's 1 base more. And we're really starting to claim them. Lings and Bane's gonna try to chase. And nuclear missiles on the way. Just a big Ling Bane fight, trying to close the distance on the Ghosts. By far the most important part of this entire army. The Marines and the Marauders suffer, but the Ghosts survive. And right now, Byun has lost 6 Ghosts to 31 Lurkers. Which is a kind of ridiculous number. He pulls the Ghosts in so that way they can get a better angle to EMP the Vipers, which is very gracious. Suddenly Dark is out of minerals, not quite out of gas, and he's building infestors, but he can't max out. The amount of bonus lurkers he's given away have left him a poor man. Byun suddenly has the right unit composition. He's got Vikings, tanks, Ghosts, and Medivacs. Everything else is just leftovers. He's building a Reaper now, which I can't imagine is intentional, but I'd love it if it is. This is rallied to, like, the middle base or something. There is a greater spire on the way. Byun is making a play for the center of the map. Dark is going to have one more army he gets to decide how to hold. Oh my god. Oh, I thought that was the Reaper. No, it's something useful, which is a Liberator. Oh, whoa, wait, what? As we pan over the map, suddenly Dark attacks. The Cloak goes. So Cloak costs energy to activate. It appears Byun doesn't have quite enough energy to land too many snipes. The Ghost count's starting to thin out a bit. He needs to wait and actually regenerate energy. I think I've seen this movie before. Not on this video site. But that Marauder is getting a lot of personal attention from every medevac left, which the Ghosts are really jealous of for many reasons right now. But that Marauder deserves it. Look at all the hard work it's doing. The Zerglings, no match. Oh, what happened? Well, still gets the chauffeur service. Kills the hatchery. A very important hatchery as well. Byun has to do a Venn diagram scan as he missed the mark on the lurker. There's just scans everywhere right now. Dark is maxed out, and he's got money in the bank. And how does he spend it? Well, he's got 101 drones, so his army supply is a little lacking. If you're wondering why Dark has less army in all these fights, well, there's an important reason. Catches some ghosts, they try to dodge, he actually manages to save one with some slow motion micro. Dark is still finding opportunities. The ghosts! Oh, sniping off like, that's like in those sci-fi movies where you find the aliens at the start and everybody unloads all of their guns with unlimited ammunition and still don't bring them down. And then at the end of the movie, they start pulling out their pistol and just one-shotting things, except in this case, it's just the special operative ghosts here with their plot armor and their ridiculously overpowered sniper rifles. I'm pretty sure this is also just the entire plot of Halo as well, so here we are. Can you believe that the humans are fighting an advanced alien race? But oh wait, there's this ancient, overwhelming amount of things that also came from an ancient alien race, and now we're going to argue over that and maybe tenuously work together with the main characters who like each other, but not that much. But I digress. Infinite possibilities. Meanwhile, the Marines are going to try their hand at the medevac fueled killing of this hatchery. The lurkers, whoa, going to shorten. And we'll make them check those life insurance policies. Meanwhile, Byun, this game has started to become quite scrappy, I will say. Still, 4,000, well, you can see here on stage, wait, stage left, stage right, stage right. We've had this discussion before, and I still never learned anything. 5,000 more gas lost. Just the snipes continue, the lurkers continue. Burrow on the way. What other upgrades don't we have? Does he have Overlord speed? Yeah, of course. Now Dark is opening up his Zerg School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. He's got Vipers, Infestors, Queens, Overseers, Corruptors, Lurkers, and everything else that has to be microed separately from every other unit. Meanwhile, Byun has Ghosts, and also more Ghosts, which is a very good strategy. They not only have an incredibly strong single target ability, they have EMP, they have nukes, but also their guns are straight up great against Lings and Banes, and not bad against Hydras. They two-shot Zerglings, and they have a ton of HP. Almost double a Marine. So. Meanwhile, 4 Marauder drops straight out of Wings of Liberty into this game. And he saves them. +3, +2 for mech. Somehow we're cutting this map in half again. Dark had the economic lead. He had it for so long. A nuclear missile, though, has definitely hurt economies before, one way or another. He'll cancel it in order to move in, maybe wishing he didn't when he sees the Broodlords just about to finish. Is there anything to deal with the Broods directly? A handful of Vikings and, ghosts. Zerglings taking out 1 tank, but there's a lot more where that came from. The Ghost Ball rolls up to the north, and that means the Broodlords for now will be uncontested towards the south. We got +3 flyer attack and +2 carapace, but the ghosts find the snipes. 1 brood, 2 brood, red brood, and most importantly, blue brood. Oh god. Oh, I'm losing it. How long it's been a while. Feature length Terran versus Zerg, and we're not clear how it ends. It could still be a draw, and then we'll just play again on the same map. 3 Thors on the way. How many ghosts? 19 ghosts. There are 5 broodlords. There's only 1 lurker left. Too many bonus lurkers. Fungal, but the snipes. He gets a great. No, he missed the mark. He missed the mark. The infestor is getting in the way. The broodlords just don't really have the effective range, and there's actually too many ghosts. I don't think the broodling, without fungal, you're not going to be able to interrupt the snipe. Dark is now still about the same level of inefficiency. Here comes another round of snipes. Good fungal. Tries to delay them. The Vikings taken out. Nuclear missile, though, will be a dramatic punctuation mark on this base. And Dark has decided to cut his losses for once. He will retreat. But it's not far away from where the Ghost will be able to intercept some of the... Did he snipe drones there? It has more range. Is there Neural Parasite? No, one of the only upgrades not researched so far in this game, and it could be incredibly useful here. The Thor brought into range, but taken down rather quickly. Parasitic Bomb, Fungal, Wombo combo. Looking for more. Where are the ghosts? Here they are. Surprise! I'm certain he has the EMP upgrade. So this is happening. Dark continues to expand. Byun lost a lot of supply in that fight. A lot of valuable supply. Dark has lost 53 lurkers, trying to set a new record alongside 600 Zerglings. Whereas 19 ghosts, 31 tanks, couple Thors and counting. Still some drones down here. The economies for a few more minutes will still be high. They both have at least 1 decent mining base. That's gonna last maybe 2 to 4 minutes at the current rate. After about 4 more minutes, the gold base is completely gone. Dark's already mined out. This is also happening. How much gas? Almost none of it was mined by Dark. So Byun will be grabbing it. It looks like at the end of the day, we'll be left with the same amount of gas mined. And that means that 4K deficit is gonna start showing, as both players are spending all of it right now and are not maxed out. There's no detection. There was just no detection. He almost lost the ghost, but I'm pretty sure he scanned ahead and saw no overseer, so it wasn't like it was a shot in the dark, if you would. It was multiple. There's the Neural Parasite. Where's my smart servos, Byun? Added to the increasingly short list of upgrades not yet researched. Smart servos to change the Thor into high impact and out of high impact mode, though I have no idea why you would want to do that. Lings and Banes will kill the Marines that were mostly taking up supply at this point. I will say. Like, we've kind of not so subtly transitioned into mech plus ghosts, which is, oh my, and here come the ghosts. Like, oh, everything just, I thought he burrowed. No, that's just the ghost. That was the ghost auto-attacking. Wow. Aimbot enabled. Is that a burrowed infester? The Thors are there to bully everything out of the way in the front, and then the ghosts clean it up. Both players are spending all the gas, but Dark's bank is definitely looking less impressive. He hasn't even mined. There's still 2,400 gas, 1,200 apiece. Byun is able to press forward. He's mining from the southern base. At some point, like, you gotta ask the question, how do you deal with this? And especially, how do you deal with this even remotely cost effectively? And so far, Dark's answer is, I don't know. On paper, Fungal plus Broodlords plus Banelings and plenty of Zerglings in a good fight, maybe. But, like, if you catch the ghosts, that's a lot gone very quickly. EMP doesn't kill units. And Dark has kind of resigned himself. What year is it? Oh my. We're going Ghost, Thor, Viking against Broodlord, Infester. Except Ghosts and Thors are better. Broodlords and Infestors are mostly worse. So, it does feel... Oh, there's a nuke. It does feel like a rough situation for our Zerg. It's been an arduous process getting to this point. That Ultralisk, just hanging out, will survive the nuke as well. The unit composition for Byun is now 20 Ghosts, 7 Thors, 12 tanks, and whatever else is left over. The medevacs are kind of important. Yeah, here's the last 8 Marines. That actually was all but... Big Gabe is left, if only to oversee command of the Thor and Ghost army, as is appropriate of his rank. There, can you see the Marine in this picture? Oh, there he is. All right. That's a lot of Broodlords. But the Ghosts trying to get their shots off, but there should be plenty of detection for now. He's dropping the Broodlings, and he's doing... Wait, did Byun kill his own workers? I'm pretty sure he did. Or he just had enough at the front. Nobody ever does that. People need to kill their own workers more often. Don't leave it up to chance. Don't send them across the map. Everybody knows you're mining out. The nuke? I think he got the Ghost or canceled it. Well, the Broodlord's moving forward. The Fungal's catching several. The Broodlings raining down, but did they go a little too far forward in the process? Dark is, like, okay, 1,100. He's mining off of one base of gas. He's long-distance mining minerals. Byun is building a bank, and he's maxed. So, like... This is feeling less like a seesaw and more like tug of war, and, well, one side started losing. It's gonna take a dramatic and overwhelming fight. He's just spraying EMPs. Oh my. Wait, he got like ultra kill. Oh no, but then he walked too far forward with the Broodlords and lost half of them. Oh no. Oh, why can't things just go smooth? He was focused so much on the Fungals there that the Broodlords wandered just a little bit too far, and the Ghost turned around. Ugh. It's within 3,000. Dark has been slowly whittling down the deficit. but I think it's too little too late. He's consuming his defunct gas geysers in order to get energy, and why not at this point? A nuke at the front. Just to try the drones! He's pulling the drones, but EMP rains across the board. There's almost no anti-air. I mean, what are you gonna do with the drones? He got the ghost that was launching the nuke. Parasitic bomb doing a lot of damage to the Vikings. So, actually, that was a win. It did look pretty good, and he didn't lose too much gas. EMP, once again, does not kill units. So, 2.5. We're in the math. We're in the spreadsheet part of the game. The scans become increasingly more numerous as mules become increasingly less useful, if only for the lack of mineral patches. There was an infestor waiting for its moment to the north. He got it. The snipes? I'm not sure what he landed him on there, but the drones are helping. Spore Crawler getting involved, but the Brood Lords also struggling to build up in number. Yeah, Dark. Wow, I did not realize. I actually have to go back a little. I think part of it was the drones, but like, Dark was down to like 90 supply against 190 of Byun. He just did not, yeah, he lost like 30 drones in the fight. And Byun in a, just like, a whiplash-inducing best of 5. Between 5-minute games and 35-minute games. Well, what a beautiful mess. I'm exhausted. I'm out of energy. But if you still have, if what gives you energy is exciting StarCraft, make sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, check out the videos there. If you're a true, press F11, get out of full screen. Come on, we're professionals. And yes, those videos as well. How exciting. Thank you for watching. Good luck, have fun. See you next time. Stay tuned.